All right. So, what history do we have behind these guys? I know GiT's been doing pretty well in Go for Lols.
Yeah, they have been doing good in Go for Lols. They are a mostly college team, put together college students out of Eastern Washington. And so they've been practicing really hard together. You have a pretty good team here, but they're actually going up a really stiff competition in this, I think it's the 5th round of Legit30s Gaming. And they are Team OGaming. So Team OGaming is up 1 game in this best of 3 so far. Had some really good play. I think they switched up, had Brand top to go against Riven. And so I'm interested to see what this next game will turn out.
You know, I always like it when teams decide to switch up the meta. Instead of having an AP go mid, they send them up top just to throw off the other team, and that's always a pleasure to watch. I see it a lot with, of course, Dignitas. Whenever I watch and cast them, they like to switch up the meta a lot. And then even in the Go for Lols, you see a lot of meta switch up. You see a lot of different competitors trying different things, and that's something I really, really enjoy watching.
I agree. I mean, to be honest, it's like you have to do stuff like that to kind of push the game and push the competitive scene, because if everybody just sticks in and just does the same thing over and over again, I mean, part of it is it becomes stale for like a viewer and a spectator and a fan, but the other part is like that can really, I mean, if you find out something that other people don't know about, I mean, 1, you have the advantage of they've never played against it, and 2, if it's really, really good, you can actually win tournaments and like championships off of it if they're not ready for it.
For sure. And just so I'm caught up to speed, Methodical is on Team GiT, correct?
Methodical is actually on team. He's on Team OGaming. So we have Team GiT, which is on the left-hand side, and OGaming, who is on the right-hand side.
So blue team will be Team GiT.
Yes, correct.
Since they are Team 1, and Team 1 is the best. I love playing on Team 1. Whenever I'm solo queuing, I hate getting put on the purple team. It's just like, really? Anyways, here we go. We got picks and bans going out. It's going to be interesting to see. As far as Team GiT's concerned, what's their typical team comp like?
Typically, they run a pretty standard comp. Usually we'll have Don Wild Cherry in top, usually as a Jax or a Lee Sin, something of that nature. I know that after playing VV Gaming in the Go for LOL today, they've actually switched their bans so that they really want a Shaco ban. Although it looks like they're going to ban Brand after that last game. Brand gave him a lot of trouble, and that actually was IU Ironman actually played him, and where I saw, he was on his game. He was a very, very good AP player.
For sure, and we're actually seeing some pretty standard bans coming out. First 2 for Team Team GiT is Rammus and Brand, and then with the purple team, OGaming is Skarner and Lee Sin. Those are actually some fairly standard bans. So either these teams know each other really well, or they know absolutely nothing about them.
Well, I think they've played the 1 game, so the Brand is a good response ban. The Ahri ban, Ahri was actually in the last game. They ran double AP. They ran Brand and Ahri. Ahri was mid, Brand was top. So, I mean, those are targeted based off of last game. But, I mean, as far as I think the meta, a lot of times it's like there's so many good APs and so many good ADs that really I feel like the bans have more shifted towards the new jungle and how strong a lot of these characters are in the jungle. So you see a lot more jungle bans than you used to see. And especially now that we switched to 6 bans, I mean, Kassadin, pretty common ban because no one likes to play against him as an AP mid. But, yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of these jungle bans.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I hate playing a Kassadin. And I'll tell you what, the reason why I never play solo queue ranked anymore is because they always ban Ahri. I love playing her. She's so much fun to play, but she's always banned. So I'm like, so I hop into normal, and I'm just like, okay, let's go. I'm gonna play Ahri. I honestly, I guess you could say she may be a little overpowered right now, but it's all in how you play her. The real play style is what gets to her. She calls for a lot more advanced tactics, so, of course, it's going to be a little different whenever Ahri's in play.
You know, and I like characters like Ahri. I like characters that are skill-based, where, like, you can see, like, I mean, a really big leap between players that are just kind of like, okay, getting with her, trying to spam, or characters that really know the positioning of all her spells to get the maximum damage out of her abilities and the maximum juke out of her abilities. And characters like that, to me, are really exciting, and, like, thinking back to, like, the original Ezreal before he got, like, nerfed a bunch because they decided he was way too good. But I mean, characters like that where they can take maximum advantage of lots of skill shots and cool techniques, I mean, those are the exciting characters to me. And we're seeing a lot more of those come out from Riot, and Ahri's definitely one of them that I love to watch.
For sure. And speaking, let's talk about picks here. With Team GiT actually opening up Shaco in the jungle. Shaco seeming to be a real popular pick as of late. And then, of course, Team OGaming picking both of their bottom lane, picking Severe as their AD carry and Tarek as their support. That's a pretty strong bottom lane, if you ask me, especially with the Sivir rework.
Yeah, after the Sivir rework, everybody is gaga about Sivir. And I know for us, we actually got a bunch of pack Sivir skins. In one of our tournaments, we were giving away pack Sivir skins. And a lot of people didn't want them. Everybody wanted Riot Nasus. Sivir was kind of out of the meta. And now that Sivir's in the meta, everybody's actually been pinging me, emailing me, being like, I need pack Sivir skins. Where are my pack Sivir skins? That skin's so cool now. But
hey, how about you hook me up with one of those pack Sivir skins?
Hey, you know what? I'll look around, and if I find one, I can hook you up with one.
I'm just messing. I've got more skins than I know what to do with. Pack Sivir, however, is not one of them.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoy playing Sivir now. She's actually really strong AD carry if you know how to play her right.
Yes, she is. And you know, although with Sivir, I actually kind of, instead of Tarek, I actually like Soraka with her, just because she can mana battery her and give her more mana to use her abilities a little bit more freely. But Tarek's still a very solid support pick. And speaking of common support picks, Sona is probably she's up there. She's like pick A or B of tier pick A or pick B of the tier 1 picks for support right now.
Definitely. And then with Team OGaming's actually going with Maokai, probably in the jungle, and then Karthus. I like that. I love seeing Karthus, and of course, as soon as I say that, no, we're going to go ahead and pick Fizz. Screw you.
Always got to troll the stream.
I'm going to Kennen. Hello.
Let's just talk about all the APs, and that way they can't troll us too bad.
Exactly, but let's actually shift back over to Team GiT. Sona and Tristana on the bottom lane versus Severe and Tarek. It's going to be real interesting. I actually haven't seen too much of Tristana versus Severe because just so many different AD carries that you can pick and so many different combinations. Usually you see like Caitlyn Vayne or you see Corki Vayne or Corki Ezreal, but Tristana Severe is a pretty unfamiliar matchup. That's going to be real interesting to see how they work it out and who eventually comes out on top. I would give the early game to Severe just because she does have that early game ability to deal out a lot of damage, but as the game progresses, I'm thinking we're going to see Tristana be able to outrange her and ultimately take her down, especially with her jump.
Yes, definitely, and that's why you do pick her. And wow, Perpetrition doing a little mix-up with the Victor pick here. We actually did see him play Victor early, and he was actually really good, but Cassiopeia, a lot stronger pick, a lot harder to deal with in lane. And Don Wild Cherry, he is a really good top. If you haven't seen him play, I mean, he's up there, one of my favorite top players. Definitely the strength of Team GiT, and his Jax is really scary good. So
Don Wild Cherry is a player after my own heart because A, I play the solo top or the jungle. B, I am a Jax main, and Jax, he's been my favorite champion. Oh, I cannot get enough of Jax. I cannot wait to see how Don Wild Cherry decides to fare. And it looks like they're going to be going with a double AP. So Kennen maybe going up top against Jax. That's going to be a challenge for Jax. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Kennen a really solid pick these days, just because you can pick him early. He's not really going to get countered. He has a lot of mobility, a lot of long range, and you can put him top or bottom. And so he's a really good, safe early pick if you want to pick him. And they picked him 4th, so it didn't even matter there. But yeah, really solid pick.
And it's going to be really interesting to watch Cassiopeia versus Malzahar in the mid lane. It's almost a toss-up. I would give the early game advantage, of course, to Malzahar because of his ability to get mana back, but the DPS of Cassiopeia cannot be ignored. It's just amazing to see these two go at it against each other because they're two of my favorite AP carries to watch, especially when they're put against each other because it comes down to who's the better player because they're so evenly matched.
Yeah, they're so evenly matched. They both have tools to deal with each other. Cassiopeia is just the harass and the pure, just straight DPS. Malzahar, he has that silence, so if it gets into a trade battle and he lands that silence, he can interrupt that Twin Fang spam. And I mean, these are both two really high skill-intensive AP mids, and so if you're asking which two AP mids you want to see, I agree with you. I think these are two of my favorite to watch.
And you know, maybe I've been out of the game for a little too long, but supports aren't taking CV. Neither one.
Yeah, and you know, we can actually turn off the overlay now, reveal the summoner spells. And yeah, basically what has happened now, and I agree with this, is Team Heal is basically the new the new hotness, if you will. And I really enjoy Team Heal, especially on a Soraka. Having 3 heals is just disgusting. Allows a lot of sustainability, a lot of shenanigans. However, what you see from Taric is you see an exhaust ignite, and that is actually something that Team Goose has been doing a lot lately in their team ranked games. And Team Goose actually was supposed to go to IEM Kiev and actually couldn't go for, I think, personal and monetary reasons mainly. But they're actually one of those teams that's mixed it up now, and you're seeing in bottom lane a lot of weird stuff like supports going, exhaust ignite and stuff like that. So, and it looks like Sivir picked up the Team Heal instead here for them.
Mm-hmm. And I really like Picture of a Goose. I talk with Wallstop constantly, and Picture of a Goose, real strong, solid team. I haven't seen too much of them as of late, though, after the Kiev qualifiers.
Neither have I, and I like to see them resurface. I know they actually played in a Go for LOL, I think the last one, and won it, so...
Well, props to them. That's a little more money, and hopefully we'll see them in the monthly final.
Yes, for sure. I know they are a fan favorite.
I've actually talked with Picture of a Goose quite a bit, and they're actually looking for sponsors, and VVV was actually looking at picking them up for a little while there, and then they kind of disappeared. So if by any chance, you guys are watching, we might want to pick you up for a sponsorship. Hey, I got to put the little selfish plug out there. VVV Gaming is looking for a sponsored LoL team.
Word, and for those tuning in who don't know, I am Pato from Raise Your Weapon, and with me is Christian, a.k.a. Asylum, from VVV Gaming. You can check them out at vvv-gaming.com, and check out their sponsors. What sponsors you guys have? I know you have SteelSeries.
Yep, currently we are partnered with SteelSeries, GamerGrub, Control Freak, and Game Servers. Our sponsors have been overly gracious with us over the past year, especially in 2011, with us sending all our StarCraft players off to MLG events, our Gears of War players sending them out to Hypefestation and Devastation, all the various events, and also our Fight Club, who we send out to numerous events in the year. And they've been extremely supportive, giving our players gear and just doing everything they can to promote us, and it's really been an honor to work with such awesome sponsors.
Yeah, definitely. I know SteelSeries is actually one of my favorite companies. They actually make my mouse pad that I use. I think I've been hyping that all during Go for LOL, but I actually really love this mouse pad.
What mouse pad are you using?
It's the 5L series. It's actually pretty old. I don't know if they make it anymore, but it's really nice mouse pad. It's really large. I actually used it for when I played Counter-Strike Source competitively, and it was a really big thing for me. One of my favorite mouse pads ever. So
I actually used the SteelSeries QCK Plus. We actually have a VVV edition, so I decided to pick one up, and it looks really nice sitting here on my desk. I like it a lot. And then now I actually use the SteelSeries Sensei mouse. I just picked that up about a month ago, and I'll never go to another mouse.
Nice. I'll have to look into that stuff.
It's so highly customizable that it's just insane. It fits perfectly to anybody's needs, because it's just so customizable. The CPI on it you can change. It has a CPI switch, so you can switch high-low, and it's just overall an amazing mouse. We just sent some of our team members some of the senseis, and they absolutely love it, especially our StarCraft players.
Yeah, well, I will definitely have to look into that.
As the game finally decides to load. Man, it's been so long since I've actually casted a League of Legends game. I'm so happy to actually get back in here.
Well, awesome, and we're glad to have you.
And as we do see, the purple team is Team OGaming. Looks like they're going to be heading in towards their red, as it was just go ahead and pinged. And Team GiT looks like they're going for fairly standard. They're going to leave their jungle for the most part unguarded, as their AD and support set to head down to the bottom lane.
Which is really interesting, because I would have thought that after playing VV Gaming, maybe they would have took some notes from your guys' start, Arcraft's start with the red buff, and it looks like he's just heading straight over to red. But this is going to be really bad for Saintstag.
Absolutely.
Oh no, he has no way out of this.
Instantly stomped. Easy first blood picked up by the AD carry and Snowman right there. That was a bad play, in my opinion, by Team GiT, but not impossible to come back from. It's still extremely early in the game.
I mean, the good news is he's going to get to respawn really early and actually probably get over and be able to take blue pretty safely, as long as they don't get an invade. But for those viewing that did not know what I'm talking about earlier, VV Gaming, one of their strategies was that they put 5 Jack-in-the-Boxes here, and if positioned correctly, they will target the blue golem and kill it all by itself. So you don't have to actually be here. Then the rest of the team went up here, guarded in this brush against the other team entering, and then they would take red really, really quickly. So Shaka would actually clear red and blue at the same time really early, hit level 2, and then just do a sick gank on mid or top, whatever he chose.
Right, and right here now with Shaco trying to go for that that red steal, he's going to be down on boxes come 155, and that blue spawning, so it looks like Don Wild's going to have to help him out here a little bit before he can hit up his top lane.
Yeah, and actually, in case people didn't know, you can actually, if you really want a long pull, you can actually do some really cute stuff with a pull from back here. You can actually do stuff where you can make if you sit up right here and move back and forth, you can actually make the blue golem dance and not deal any damage, but that's not going to be needed here. Just a real quick damage, and they're going to be able to clear that blue really quickly for Shaco.
And you know what? I do that quick snazzy pull whenever I play middle, and even in solo queue, and people are like, "Oh my god, how do you do that?" And people just need to learn how to do it. Once you learn how to do it, it's so easy for your jungler to pick up that blue.
Oh yes.
But as we also see right away, Tarek's gonna go ahead and ward the enemy tri-bush. As Sona goes ahead and wards the bottom brush, leaving Tarek pretty much exposed there in that brush.
Yeah, and it's a very good, for those new support players or people getting into support, getting those 3 wards early and then placing a ward like in this brush is a good use of a ward. Definitely keeps out people from camping, and it negates that brush entirely and gets rid of that super sneaky play where they can come out and burst damage and hide back in there.
At least for the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of all for naught, but
yeah.
Shaco's going to go ahead and pick up the red there for Team GiT, as Maokai goes ahead and picks up the red there for Team OGaming. And looks like Sona finally a little bit late on that early ward, but no threat from Maokai as he is up in the top jungle right now.
Yes.
And it is we are coming into a pretty slow start here. Usually you tend to see some action, especially from a Shaco jungle, coming out with some early ganks, but looks like Shaco actually is going to be moving in for a little bit of harass here. I don't think he'll be able to actually get the gank here.
Nope.
But yep, it will move him back. He will take a little bit of damage, but General Scud will go back to the safety of his turret.
Good attempt with that Jack-in-the-Box, but placed a little bit too closely, and Malzahar is able to escape out of that and get out of the fear range. That was mainly what Shaco was hoping for.
Yep, and if you actually pay attention here on the bottom lane, Team GiT's actually showing some early aggression with that with the Tristana and Sona combination. I'm not too sure as to why Tarek's not being a little more aggressive here. I know there is the ward there down in the bottom lane, but Tarek can afford to be pretty aggressive against a Sona here in this matchup.
Yeah, he can. You always want to be careful, though, because, he does have the Exhaust Ignite. I think maybe what it is they're maybe waiting for, like, a level combo of some sorts to move in, but I'm not quite sure. He is playing pretty passive here.
Most likely. And Iron Man here actually is pinging to call for a gank up here on Don Wild, as he is a little bit overextended in his lane, but unfortunately Maokai's in no position to come up for any type of quick gank. So we're not going to be seeing any action up in the top lane, at least as of yet, as mid is still pretty stable. Nothing really is going on there. It looks like Malzahar will be pushing up into the turret here within the next 30 seconds or so.
And I know right there you saw Malzahar miss his silence, and that is kind of cast with PSQ to move in there and start harassing, actually, because once you get past that silence, your DPS is greater than Malzahar, and if you can land that Q of hers to harass and then follow that up with Fangs, then you actually are in a really, really good position against him. But he probably sensed that he had a little bit more creep push right there, and so he'd have that support, and so he risked it.
Definitely. Up in top lane, Kennen is going to be a little bit overextended here, but he is going to wisely move down into his river and throw down a ward there. Very good idea. You always need to have your top lane warded, especially since you are up there by yourself.
Yeah, and most top lanes actually would head back after pushing up their lane at this point, but since he has that ward, he's able to put it there and stay in lane.
Right, and actually Malzahar able to spot Shaco there right in the middle. So Kennen's not going to have any surprises coming towards him. He knows that Shaco's looking for a gank, and he does move back. Now Shaco knows that it is definitely warded, and he will not be able to get any kind of harass down there on Kennen.
Yes, let's see.
It's real interesting to watch, because a lot of players don't like to utilize the ward up there on the top lane, and when someone does, they get that so distinct advantage. They might lose a little bit farm in the beginning, but as far as the later game, is concerned, it works out a lot better for them. And Shaco now coming into the middle, coming after, trying to get the Jack in the Box to land, but it's not going to work. Ignite does land. Cassiopeia goes in, ults, and gets the kill down there on to Malzahar. Great play by both players.
Yes, definitely great play by both players. And Maokai coming up and just making a mean face as Perpetration just backs off.
Maokai coming in and just being like, get away from my lane, you killed my Melz. But I can't do anything about it, so please don't kill me.
Have a present.
Here's a gift for you.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? As we're talking about skins, how about those new Revel skins? I guess for the Chinese New Year.
Oh, I actually love every single one that I've seen so far. The Stone one's pretty good, and actually the Lee Sin and the Wukong ones are really cool as well.
I've seen the Wukong one a few times, and it makes me a little bit jealous. I kind of want to pick them up.
Yeah, Don actually has been rocking them pretty much all day. He's actually has every single one of those skins, I think, and so he's been playing Wukong and Lee Sin top, and he's been showing them off.
You know, if it's one thing I gotta give to Riot is they know how to market their skins, and they know how to market them nearly flawlessly. That's how they make their money, really, is all off the skins.
Oh, yeah, it is. And I mean, they've made a lot of money off me. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've paid for this game so many times over, just in skins alone.
I think in boosts and skins and everything, I think I've spent well over $500 on League of Legends alone. It's really incredible how much you can actually spend on a free-to-play title.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's obviously working out for them, and props to Riot. They've made a really, really good game, and to me, it's completely worth it. I mean, as far as much time and effort I put into this game, for me, it's worth the price. So props to them for making such a good game and supporting it so well.
Oh, definitely. And as you could tell, Riot's throwing $5 million into competitive Season 2, which only goes to show you they're making so much more.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if they can afford to put $5 million in prize money alone, then I think you're pretty well off with how much money you're making.
Yes, for sure. It looks like Maokai might be trying to come up here onto Cassiopeia, but he's not going to have anything going for him right there.
He could have come in, but as you could tell in Cassiopeia's positioning, Shooter could have easily gotten away. He might have been able to get maybe one or two, but of course, as we do miss it there, up in the top lane, Shaco coming in for a gank, and Jax helping with the assist, so they're going to pick up a kill there as Team GiT goes up 2-1 in the series.
Finally, that ward fall, and they're all going to come into Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia's going to pop her ult, be able to escape out of this pretty safely. Shaco coming down. Not going to be able
as he
to
moves in, but they are going to see it because of their ward placement. Beautiful, beautiful move there by Team OGaming, getting out of there as they start Dragon.
Yeah, they're moving in towards Dragon.
But it looks like they're not going to at least take it right now because they do know that there are 4 members down there. It's going to be really interesting to see if Team GiT decides to move in on this.
Yeah, they know Cassiopeia's ults pop. The one thing they have to look out for is the Shaco steal over the wall. The spotting sapling is gone, and now the rest of the team's moving in. They're going to have to back off from this. I don't think they can come take this. Shaco's moving in. Mokai's really, really low. He's back out of this fight. Marzel's pool is gone. Misses the silence. Silver falling really quick. There's the team heal to try to save him. Tristana back out really quick. They'll flash out, and nobody's dying. Lots of damage traded.
Did go down though, trying to steal that dragon, and pretty successfully, might I add. He took it.
Yeah. So I mean, mission accomplished there. That is actually worth more than his life.
So, most definitely. I would take 150 to each team member for 300 gold to one person.
Yes. Take that trade every day.
Now he's been left basically up top to push this lane. Not exactly the smartest move, I would think, especially on a top lane. You usually don't want to down that turret until at least the 20-minute mark, so you can get your time to farm in. For
sure, and they're going to race up. They're probably going to be able to send this. Shaco's going to come up there. But Don actually doing a good job. Meanwhile, I'm looking at, he's about 11 CS ahead of Kennen in that top lane, so doing pretty good.
I'm actually surprised Kennen's going for the turret and not trying to catch up on creep score. I mean, the 150 per side is pretty good, but as we can see on the bottom end, Tarek did actually fall down to the jump of Tristana, which we keep missing it. We need to be more on top of this, man. We need to get in there. As we can see up there in the middle in the jungle, Jax is moving, and Maokai is going to get the charge, and Malzahar is going to get the ult, going to get it off. And Jax actually turning back in as Cassiopeia comes in, landing some amazing hits, but it looks like Purple Team is going to go ahead and walk away without a death. Of course, I'm going to eat my own words as...
Caster's Curse.
Yep, the Caster's Curse. As Kennen decides to try to move in and take that kill, but Shaco is right there to say, no, 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 Kennen. I'm here.
Really interesting to think about that exchange, actually. Maokai actually used his ground pound and actually pushed Jax just that little bit out of the pool of Malzahar. So all the DPS that Malzahar would have had from that % health reduction from the pool actually was completely lost because Maokai did the ground pound for the slow.
And it could have killed Jax too, so a
Yeah.
miscommunication there by the team actually forced them to lose that kill. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. You see it a lot with people that have knockbacks, especially with the Malzahar on the team.
Yes, and I think, I know when I play Maokai, because I've actually been playing a lot of Maokai jungle lately because I love him so much. The thing about it is you kind of get into this rhythm with it where you do your root, you do the dash root in, and then you hit your Q to do the knockback, and you just don't think about it. And especially with characters like that have AoEs that they need to get people stuck in, I mean, it just happens that you knock them out of there sometimes. And of course your team yells at you. Happens a lot when you're Janna. I'm a longtime Janna player, so happens a lot with characters like that.
Janna's one of those supports I just can't get behind, especially with that knockback. It turns so many team fights. It can turn it to your favor, but more often than not, it's going to go against your favor if you don't have a skilled Janna player.
Yeah, I mean, skilled Janna players, I mean, I literally played, I think I changed it to League of Janna, where I pretty much just played Janna. That's all I played. And I got so good with her that, I mean, I was known for her and people really liked my Janna play. But, I mean, she is one of those heroes. It's like you can be, like, the best friend. People will be, like, so amazed by your play. And the next ult, they're like, you are the worst thing ever. You cost me a kill.
Yeah, right. And I don't know. Janna's just one of those that I would prefer not to have in my team comp. But if it shows up, I'll deal with it. But not too big of a deal. But looking right now, looking in the middle lane, it looks like Cassiopeia still ahead. Up 2 kills and a few CS, so it looks like mid lane there's in a little bit of trouble. And it looks like down here on the bottom lane, Sivir's going to try to grab Sona there out of position, but it's not going to work out too well, as she does just casually skip away with her little movement speed buff, and that's that, pretty much.
And one thing I'd like to note so far is actually really good warding by both teams. You see there's lots of wards in key positions, there's a lot of vision around Dragon, even into that top middle lane. So both teams have a lot of vision of each other trying to move in here.
But as you can see right now, Team OGaming does not have sight.
Oh, Malzahar might be in some trouble here. Oh, there's the ult. Get stunned. Absolutely gone. And Maokai's going to have to back out, and they should have this blue.
They should have the blue, yep. They are definitely going to go ahead and take it there. And he's going to be in trouble, seeing as Maokai is so mana-dependent, especially in this early to mid-game.
Yeah, and Cassiopeia with blue is disgusting.
You can't stop Cassiopeia with blue, especially even as a Malzahar. It's going to be an extremely, extremely tough matchup now that she does have blue. She can easily push this turret down, and we are nearing the 14-minute mark, so we are looking at the time where mid and bottom lane are going to want to start pushing, as Shaco here is actually setting up for a gank here on bottom lane.
Looks like they're thinking about setting some up, and looks like he's going to blue pill back.
Yep, he's going to go ahead, go back and buy. As we look at the gold here, he does have about 1,200 gold saved up, but he is going to forego it, and it looks like they're getting ready to move in.
Yes,
we're going to see what happens.
Unfortunately, Maokai is coming down behind. He's going to see us now. Oh, he's going to deceive him first.
And it's going to be a bad
double root, double stun, lots of damage, and picks up him and his clone. And now they're running away really, really fast. Someone's actually going to have to use their ult defensively. And Malzahar ult just barely catches Tristana on the tip. There's that team heal and that heal, that defensive aura trying to keep him alive, but there's no going for it. And someone's going to have to retreat.
Unfortunately, Tristana was really, really late on that cleanse. If she would have popped a cleanse right after she had landed, she would have been able to get away, but not so much, as she popped it after Malzahar's ult had ended, so it was pretty much useless. And that's one of the big things with cleanse. A lot of people like to take cleanse, but a lot of people don't know how to use it properly. If you wait for the proper CC to come out and then you hit cleanse, it can work perfectly. But in that case, she waited until after Malzahar's ult had ended, and therefore the cleanse was basically useless.
Yeah, I mean that is a big part of it. It's a timing thing. It's a skill thing. It kind of reminds me of, I mean, not as extreme, but Tryndamere ult, especially Tryndamere ult. It's all the timing of when you pop it. If you pop it too early, you're in trouble. A lot of abilities like that. There's a big difference between when you pop it in a team fight and how much CC you avoid with it. Because sometimes you can get people to stack CC a little bit earlier with it and escape that way.
Most definitely. Yeah. And Team OGaming actually went ahead and pinged for Dragon, but it looks like they're not going to be doing too much with it. It looks like they were going to set up for it, but Maokai decided to blue pill back.
It looks like we're just coming up on 16 minutes, and so far Team GiT is actually ahead by about 2k gold advantage for their team, so a little bit ahead so far.
Yeah, but right now I think I would have to give it as far as matchup is concerned and looking at items, it looks like Team OGaming is being a little bit more smart with their item choices, going for more resists and more vamp or lifesteal, and a little more warding as far as going against Team GiT here, which I think is going to pay off for them here in the later end of the game. Even though they are behind by 1 kill and about 1,000 gold right now, I do think I would give them the upper hand slightly.
It looks like Team GiT wants this dragon and try to get more of a lead here. They've brought Jax down. Kennen is still top. He does not have teleport, so he will not be a part of this fight if they want to go for a dragon. Looks like bottom is pushing OGaming up and around, which is very, very smart. They're going to pick up this dragon.
Yep, that was an easy dragon there for Team GiT. That's going to increase their lead, and right now I'm not so confident anymore about Team OGaming's edge, as they seem to be lacking a little bit in the coordination department.
Yes, they do, but Kennen is Iron Man is going to pick up this top turret for them, so that'll be a little bit help.
I wouldn't give up a turret for a dragon, though. Well, I would give up a turret for a dragon, as they did lose dragon but gained a turret.
Yes,
they're still behind on that. I would give up a turret to take dragon. So a good, wise choice there by Team GiT. Especially since it's top turret.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, a lot of the decisions for when you get into higher competitive games is when to trade resources as well. Because sometimes you just can't. You have to know that you just can't win a resource, and you have to go, hey, okay, well, if they're doing this, how can we take advantage while they're busy taking dragon, for example? And so, I mean, I guess their answer was Ken was just going to keep pressuring that turret and take top, and Malzahar was just going to keep farming mid.
Right, and as you look at the creep score, you can definitely tell where the gold advantage comes into play. Team GiT is out farming quite impressively against Team OGaming. Right now in the middle lane, Cassiopeia is 137 to Malzahar's 99. Almost 40 ahead there in the mid lane alone. It's quite an advantage there. And the bottom lanes are actually pretty even, 140 to 141.
Yeah, pretty dead even. And Maokai sitting in this jungle here. He has an oracle, an early oracle, and he's knows there's no ward here. But we'll see if he just waits there forever or if he tries to make a move. I don't think the lane's going to push up, and they are pushing the lane at the same time, so Maokai's kind of wasting his time sitting there.
He is, but this is what he's going to do. He's going in for a bush side gank.
Ooh.
Which is a very smart move. You actually don't see this a whole lot unless you're, watching Team Epic versus CLG. You don't really see that a whole lot.
So
and right now the bottom lane does not know that Maokai is sitting right there, so this could be a lot of trouble. As he moves
he's going to go for Sona first.
But they didn't know Shaco was there either. Looks like Sona is going to go ahead and go down, possibly.
Oh, she gets out just in time. Shaco now running for his life.
She barely gets out, but Shaco is going to go down to Snowman. A beautiful, beautiful toss right there.
Yeah, mitigating a lot of that damage from Tristana with that exhaust.
And there goes Shaco clone.
Yep.
Aww, sad day.
And
right now you actually see the top lane starting to come down. Jax heading up into the middle lane, and Kennen's going to go ahead and follow. And that's another smart tactic that you don't see a whole lot in play unless you're watching top-tier play, is following your lane. If you're in a solo lane and you notice your lane's missing and you know they're going somewhere, you better follow them because you don't want to disadvantage anywhere on the map.
And you've obviously mentioned solo queue. How many times does it happen in solo queue where you're mid, it goes missing and they don't follow him down, and then your team gets wrecked? Like, it happens all the time.
Way too much, especially when their jungler decides to show up too. Then all of a sudden it's 4v2.
Malzahar in the bottom lane, the rest of the team's jumping on.
Hit by the ult.
Oh, and there's the good cleanse.
Way too late.
That was actually. Yeah, I mean, I think that the team would have actually jumped on there earlier. It would have been a late cleanse, but since they came in just late, she cleansed just in time for the Maokai stun and was able to get out of that situation.
Thankfully, she got lucky.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
She got lucky with that late cleanse.
She got really lucky.
Rather seen the cleanse come early and get out of that Malzahar and then jump away, so Maokai, if he did get the Twisted Advance off, would have gotten put right under the tower and it would have been an easy 3v1 kill right there. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, but she did manage to get away, and for that, she was extremely lucky. And right now, Jax in the middle lane is going to get caught here by Malzahar and Maokai trying to come in, but it looks like Don Wild Cherry is going to go ahead and just casually walk away with only taking about 30% damage.
Well, the good news for him is Malzahar had used his ult, so he didn't have to worry about that stun, so he was relatively safe. If maybe Malzahar had backup, he'd be in a little bit of trouble there.
I think he would be too as well, because Maokai, of course, that Twisted Advance and then the knock-up, he would be stuck there for quite a while, and quite possibly could have gone down unless he would have popped his ult and have that extra magic resist.
Like, both teams are going to feed their APs the blue buff.
Most definitely. And, let's talk a little bit about Jax, because we know the remake's coming this week, and I'm real interested to see how this remake's going to affect him, because Dodge is taken out of the game completely, except for his Counter-Strike.
Yes, and you know what? I like it now because, okay, there's two parts to it that I like about it. One, that's 100% dodge, so you know you're always going to be counted. And the second part is that it'll basically mean that your Counter-Strike, your stun, will be more reliable now, and you can actually switch them to, I think it actually improves his gank ability.
It does, and especially with the way they're remaking him now, he's going to be much more effective in the jungle, because his W... His Empower is going to be on a much shorter cooldown. It's going to do a little bit less damage, but it is going to be on a shorter cooldown, so it's going to be more effective in the jungle right now. As Don Wild comes in and takes that quite convincingly. Jack's known to be a duelist, but he took him out pretty convincingly right there. I
think you're going to actually like Don Wild Cherry as this game goes farther. The later this game goes, the better his Jax gets, the more crazy stuff you're going to see from him.
I do like it right now, and he's doing the exact same build that I would go, except taking mana potions. I don't exactly agree with that, but I guess it's all a matter of preference at this point. But he does have his Bilge Water finished with Ninja Tabby and a Wriggle's Lantern. Very, very strong laning items for Jax.
Yeah, and you know, I think the other thing you're going to see from Jax is we might see him transition, like you mentioned, to a more jungle character instead of just a top solo lane character.
You know, I love Jax. I jungle with Jax even now.
Yes.
He's still a very viable jungle right now. As bottom lane is going ahead and pushing, Tristana focusing more on the tower than creeps, but they are going to go ahead and get that tower down here right at the 22, almost 23 minute mark, taking their first turret. It's going to get them a little bit more back in this game. They are still up on gold, they are up 1 kill, but they are still down a turret, and they are even on dragons if I remember correctly.
Yes, they should be. Oh, actually, no, they actually have 2 dragons because Shaco went and stole the first one, so Team GiT is actually up 2 dragons, and the third one is up for grabs right now.
Yep, as it looks like both teams are starting to collapse in on it. It is going to be a 5v5. I am really anxious to see this go down. I haven't seen a good 5v5 at Dragon in quite a while, and my mind's itching for it as Maokai decides to come and move in here. They're taking the Jacket Box down. Don Wild Cherry is going to move in on Maokai. Maokai getting hit really extremely hard here as the Maokai goes down, and Kennen also taking quite a bit of fight as Shaco decides to go down. Cassiopeia now taking out Kennen. Cassiopeia moving in on Taric now, but is going to get quickly DPS down, and Malzahar is going to take that kill. And it looks like they got Team GiT on the run as they are going ahead and pursuing Tristana and Jax, but they are going to back away and go ahead and go after this dragon.
You know, great focus actually by Team OGaming, and I think Team GiT doesn't want to give this up. I think they want.
Team GiT definitely doesn't want to give it up. It's a 5v3 right. Well, sorry, 4v3 right now at this point. But Taric is so low. It looks like they are going to go ahead and pick up Maokai as they go and turn on Malzahar now. Malzahar's going to go ahead and go down. Jax now moving in on Severe. Severe's taking a lot of damage here, and she is going to go down to Tristana.
Oh, great play by GiT. Just playing a little rope-a-dope there. Oh, Tristana sees
Tristana moving in on Taric, and she is going to pick it up.
Oh my gosh, what a great guess, knowing that he was probably there, jumps in there, gets the slow, and picks up the kill. That was huge. Now, I didn't quite see who picked it up. I think Sivir actually was able to get the last hit on Dragon and pick up the Dragon, though.
Amazing, amazing play. Yes, Team OGaming did pick it up.
And are they going to do Baron?
They lost their entire team
Shaco and I think Shaco and Jax are going to do Baron. They know the team.
Baron. You think they could do it at this point?
I think they can actually do it at this point, to be honest.
Especially with Sona coming in now into the fray. The lifesteal there on Jax is going to be able to give him a little bit of sustain. And yeah, they are going to go ahead and take this Baron down.
Yeah, and OGaming has no idea. And it's a very, very smart move. You know, Dragon was down. They knew the rest of OGaming was back or dead. And so great play. They had no wards there.
And then Kennen coming in right there at the last second saying, I'm going to check to see if they're doing Baron. Oh, wait.
Sad face.
My Shuriken didn't hit. Oh, no, they have Baron. And there goes middle turret.
The deafening sound of silence.
Yep. If you hear nothing when you do that, you're just like, oh, crap. We're in trouble now. Because now, they're down 4 kills. They're even on turrets, and they just lost to Baron. They're still up a dragon, but they lost Baron.
Yeah, so they're down about 6K now. So nearing, I mean, I don't know if you heard on our stream, but I was talking about that 7K mark. And I don't know what it is about the 7K mark, but usually when teams hit about that 7K mark, you really start to see a difference in the items and the levels. Just like naturally, I notice it in team fights. It's a number just I've noticed. I don't know if that's factually correct, but it's just something I've experienced in my play. And once you kind of start to near that, then you can see the game get pushed out of proportion if the other team, if you don't try to write that really quickly.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I tend to stray more towards 6.5 instead of 7K because around roughly 1,200 per player is when you can usually buy some sort of item that can get you up there, at least in the higher tier. And that's when people really start to pull away and teams really start to just run away with the game.
Yes, definitely.
Especially now Team GiT actually has a Baron buff, so it's going to be really difficult for Team OGaming to try to come back for this. It looks like they are starting to stick together a little more now, though, which is always a good plan when you're facing a team against a team with a Baron.
Yeah, and at this point, the mini game kind of starts where the mini game is called ward control, and so Team GiT's going to try to ward their enemy's jungle, and the enemy's going to try to counter ward their jungle and protect it from invasion. Because if you give up your jungle, you're in a lot of trouble.
That's the number one point, especially when you're behind. You cannot give up your jungle. If you end up giving up your jungle, you're going to give up the game. Right now, as Team GiT is actually moving up to take looks like another top turret, as Jax decides to move in there, and Maokai is going to go in with the Twisted Advance, and Shaco looking like to try to get some action, but gets detected by that turret.
Both teams thinking they were going to go in, and no one, a few players not getting the memos.
I can tell you what, right now, though, Team GiT's getting really itchy. They want to fight, and they want it badly. I wonder if they're going to try to go underneath the turret.
Yeah, I think they want to put the stamp on the game. Although Cassiopeia is really caught out of position, the rest of the team knows it.
Left alone. The ult does go off on Kennen, though, and it is going to work out in their favor a little bit. But Maokai coming in and stopping Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is going to go down. But Maokai looks like also going to go down to Sona. And also Maokai in a lot of trouble here. They are going to take quite a few trades. But Tristana left basically ignored, and they are going to pick up the ace, and that, I feel, is going to be the nail in the coffin right there for Team OGaming.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they would have been able to get Tristana, I mean, Jax is the cleanup character of choice, and even if they would have been able to escape out of that and just leave Jax alone could clean up anybody that was left there. And they're actually, and thankfully, now that they have Tristana, they're actually going to be pushed down both of these turrets pretty easily with that DPS.
I think they will get an inhibitor out of this fairly easily, especially with the power of taking down turrets. With Jax and Tristana down there, it's hands down they're getting an inhibitor if they decide to stay.
And you know what? When I watched Game 1 of Team GiT, I felt like they were in a little bit of a funk. Maybe it was a little bit of their play after the tournament today, or I don't know what was happening, but they didn't look like themselves, and this game is looking a lot more like the Team GiT that I know. They're
playing very cleanly. I know when I saw them play against VVV, they were all over the place. But we're seeing a much more, I wouldn't say refined, but a much more calm and collective Team GiT right now against OGaming.
Yes, definitely. I don't know what maybe they said something to each other, or like, or what happened, but yeah, definitely a better game coming out of them right now.
Maybe they just said, okay, guys, we really sucked in that last match. We need to pick it up. And, you know, that's what happens when you play in a game. If you guys have just an extremely bad game, sometimes you just got to admit, okay, we sucked and we sucked hard that game. Let's try to pick it back up. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you just go cold, especially in an evening when you're playing, 8, 9, 10 matches in an evening. It can really wear down on you.
Yeah, I mean, fatigue is a real thing. It's a real thing in esports, and especially in gaming. I don't know what you guys do with your players, but I know a lot of organizations or a lot of pro gamers just in general actually like go to the gym, they work out. They're not a bunch of fat, lazy people sitting behind a computer all day, because mental endurance and physical endurance actually is a real thing in gaming, believe it or not. I know I've been in a lot of long Counter-Strike tournaments and stuff like that, and even League of Legends tournaments. I actually played an Intel LAN Fest where our last game that we ended up going out on was, we did a stupid play, but we had been in the game for, believe it or not, an hour and 20 minutes. And we ended up with a base tried to do a base trade, and we ended up losing the game. But I mean, fatigue, mental fatigue, physical fatigue is a real thing in gaming.
Fatigue is probably the number one killer in all games, especially at MLG events. I talk with a lot of our players, and they have to play for sometimes 12, 13, 14 hours at a time. No breaks either, no breaks to eat or rest. It can really wear you down, and if you're not physically fit, it's going to wear down on you even further, mentally and physically.
Oh, yes, definitely. I know, especially at MLG events, like those admins, they want you to play your games now. You don't get a bathroom break. They're like, you play now. It is time. We're on a schedule, so you go play your game.
I gotta pee.
Yeah, exactly. We don't care.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be a little more lax on it this year, especially with all the reports coming out about gamer fatigue.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of gamer fatigue happening, and that's why a lot of people do end up losing, because they're too fatigued and they can't really concentrate.
Yeah, definitely. And I think shout out to MLG, because I think when they started out they were very new to the StarCraft scene, but I think from what I've been hearing, they're making a lot of better steps towards as far as the rules and player accommodations. They're really putting on a good product and supporting their players.
You know what? They had a good system in place last year. I'll give them that, but there were a little bit of flaws. But I think everybody saw it. The players complained about the open bracket a lot.
Yes.
So I'm hoping to see some changes here in the next season, which I think MLG will go ahead and
Jack's all up in there. He thinks he's really tanky, but Malzahar's specialty is tearing down tanky heroes, and he is going to be able to kill Jax. Now the rest of Team GiT is running for their lives. Sona's gone. Shako, unfortunately, really behind the line, but his clone is actually going to save him here. Maybe. Might see another twisted advance, but no, he's going to be able to get out with that flash.
Yeah, I think Don Wild Cherry there was just a little... He just jumped the gun a little too early there. His team wasn't there back to support him, and that's going to cost him.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing you have to watch out for with the Malzahar especially is his specialty is killing any tanky hero, because that pool is a percentage health base, is not damage, so it scales really, really well, and now they're going to move in on Baron, and that could be a really, really costly mistake.
Yep, and they're going to go ahead, and they're going to be up 1 Baron to 1. It's going to be back to even, but they are still quite a bit behind. They are down 5 kills, and they're down about 9,000 gold, so it's going to be real interesting. As Tristana going in there and just kind of poking it out. He's going to take Tarek down here as well. He's going to go after Malzahar, ulting Malzahar down, and then jumping in. They are going to actually go and take this Baron.
Wow, great play by Team GiT. Another rope-a-dope. Like, oh yeah, you guys totally got this. Take advantage of it. Oh, psych.
It's like the good old fumble Rooski.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, we screwed up. We're backing out. Oh, wait, no, we're going to go ahead and kill you and then take your Baron.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to ask Don after the game. I'll be like, that was part of your plan, right? And he'll be like, yeah, sure.
He'll be like, yeah, that's exactly.
That's what I was going for, yeah. I told guys, hey guys, I'm going to jump in here and sacrifice myself, and you guys get Baron later.
Right. But actually, I'm looking here in the Twitch chat, and it looks like Don Wild Cherry is not happy about the remake about Jax. But I, for one, think it's actually going to be better in the game because they're removing the dodge mechanic completely. So if they were to leave Jax the way he is, he would be completely debunked and would not work whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm actually glad they're remaking him and making him more accessible, as it were, to the new way the game is.
Well, I think a lot of Jax players don't like it because, I mean, that easy tankiness, I mean, obviously that's a big kind of blow to him. A lot of players really liked and relied on for him to survive in those late game situations. But, I mean, really it's just just a switch in styles, really, for Jax players. And I actually think he gains a lot of new cool abilities, maybe gains some DPS. Just going to have to play him differently and get used to the new style of Jax. And, I mean, change is good. And, frankly, it just doesn't... Clever Jax jump over the wall to a ward and gets in there, and he's not dead yet. Gets out of that pool and just tearing people apart.
Jax is going ahead and doing work right now as Cassiope goes ahead and picks up that kill. And then they also take Maokai, Tarek, and Kennen with him. That's a 3 for nothing. This is going to be an easy win.
Yeah,
I think it's game right now.
Yeah, I think GiT's going to take this to a game 3, which I'm actually really excited to see. I'm glad to see them come back on top here.
It's going to be real interesting to see what the bans and picks are going to be here for game 3.
Yes, it is. Maybe we're probably going to see a Jax ban. But like I was saying, I kind of feel that just recently that, as a gaming system, the more randomness you remove from the game, the better. I mean, I don't know about how you feel about it, but, I mean, crit's still going to be in there, but just dodge, like, you can't itemize to counter dodge. Like, the only thing you can do is, like, Sword of the Divine, but, I mean, that's not good enough. It's kind of silly. I mean, if you're an AP character, I guess AP characters aren't going to auto-attack, but still, it's like, you shouldn't have to just go for this one item to stop dodge, where, like, critical strike you can use, critical chance you can use armor and stuff like that to mitigate it. So I just kind of, removing the randomness, getting rid of dodge, I think is a good thing for the game.
Right, and in a game like League of Legends, I'm not a big fan of RNG. You take the RNG out of the game, it becomes much more consistent and becomes more skill dependent. So taking that dodge out, that random number for the stun on Jax, I believe is a shift in the right direction.